Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. In today's episode, we'll discuss the momentous event that was the conversion of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu to Islam. In our last episode, we discussed how Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, the uncle of the Prophet, became Muslim. Only 3 days after, Umar radiallahu anhu became Muslim as well. Umar ibn al-Khattab is a very interesting and amazing figure in the history of Islam. He was a tall, powerful, staunch enemy. And I would say that he was not just a staunch enemy, but he was a staunch friend. His personality was that whatever he believed in it fully. And he held on to it firmly. He wasn't somebody who, played 50-50. He was someone who was all the way in whatever it is that he believed in. So there are incidents mentioned that Umar ibn al-Khattab had exposure to Islam, and one of the ones that are the most well known is that one day Umar ibn al-Khattab was a strong drink alcoholic, and it was thought, and he himself said that I thought that maybe I would die from drinking alcohol, too much. He had a fierce temper, he had a love of poetry, and he had a strong drinking habit. One day he went to the Kaaba and looking for people to drink with and to find some drink. He didn't find anything, so he decided that, okay, let me just go and pray at the Kaaba. This was, their culture. This was something that was very simple and right in front of their house, so they would honor the Kaaba in whatever way they did. However, he said, you know what, I have nothing to do, so let me just go and pray at the Kaaba. So he went to the Kaaba, or make tawaf around the Kaaba. So he went at the Kaaba and he saw that the Prophet ﷺ was coming. So he said, you know what, let me hide under the cover of the Kaaba and scare him by just jumping out at him at a time and startle him. So he said, okay, so he got under the roof of the cover of the Kaaba, and the Prophet ﷺ came and he started to recite he started to pray and started to recite Surah Al-Haqqa. And he heard Surah Al-Haqqa and he was captivated by it. He was captivated by that. Until the Prophet ﷺ reached a point where he said, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَا تُبْصِرُونَ وَمَا لَا تُبْصِرُونَ إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore that this is the word. So Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was thinking that maybe this is a speech of some type of magician or some type of jinn or something like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ. This is the word of a noble messenger. وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَاعِرٍ قَلِيلًا مَا تُؤْمِنُونَ. And it's not the word of a poet. And وَلَا بِقَوْلِ كَاهِنٍ. And it is not the word of the soothsayer. And these were exact questions that were popping up in the mind of Umar ibn al-Khattab, and he was being answered directly from the Quran. And it's something that moved him. However, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he went back to his normal life after this incident, and he did not scare the Prophet ﷺ because he was moved by the Quran. And then it is said that one day he saw one of the Muslimas leaving Mecca to Abyssinia. And he said that he saw her and he said, why are you leaving? And she said that, you people don't let us believe and you don't let us worship, so at least let us leave. And her comment was something that touched Umar ibn al-Khattab. And he said, you know what, I don't want to live in Mecca like this. I want to end this dispute that is going on. And he felt that the best way to end that dispute is to go and kill the Prophet ﷺ and return Mecca back to its original day where everybody lived in harmony and there was no disagreement about religion or God or anything like that. So he decided to go home and he fully armed himself. And he started to head out towards, in the street, heading towards the Prophet ﷺ. Looking for him basically. On the way, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he met a companion who was not publicly telling people that he had become Muslim. He was basically a secret Muslim. So Nu'aym ibn Abdullah, he saw Umar and he said, Umar, where are you going? So Umar said, I'm going to kill Muhammad. And he said, how will you then save yourself from Banu Hashim and Banu Zuhra, which are the tribes of the Prophet ﷺ, from his mother and father's side? He said, well, it seems as if you have forsaken our faith. Meaning, Umar is saying to Nu'aym, he's saying that instead of supporting me, you're asking me how am I going to save myself? That means that you have perhaps also flipped over. So Nu'aym, who was a Muslim, he said to Umar, Umar, the amazing thing is that your sister and brother-in-law have also renounced your faith. Now one might think, why would he send Umar to on a killing rampage to his sister, to another Muslim's house? And of course the reasoning of Nu'aym ibn Abdullah is that to protect the Prophet ﷺ is more important at this time. And if he can divert Umar, then he can get some time and go and warn the Prophet ﷺ that Umar is coming for this, so that they could at least prepare themselves. But hearing this, Umar was furious, and he immediately went to the house of his sister Fatima bint Khattab, Sa'id bin Zayd. He went to the house of Sa'id bin Zayd and Fatima bint Khattab, and as he was walking up to the house, Khabbab ibn al-Arat, another companion, was teaching them Surah Taha inside. And as soon as they heard Umar coming, they basically, and the way they would come and they would hear them is that Umar would come and he would be saying in his loud voice, open the door, open the door. So they heard, and Khabbab immediately hid, and they quickly hid the sheets that they were reading from, or whatever piece of wood or leaves or whatever they had written on. And Umar came in furious, armed, and he said, what was that babble that I heard? And they said, nothing, we were just talking. He said, maybe both of you have renounced your faith. So Sa'id bin Zayd said, well, tell me, Umar, what is the truth? What if the truth lies far from your religion? What if you are the one that is really not on the truth? So Umar became violent and angry, and he started to beat his brother-in-law, and his sister stepped in to defend him. And in this whole situation, Umar hit his sister Fatima bint Khattab, so that blood started running down her face. And this shook Umar, of course, that any human being would feel that when they see their own sister bleeding from the face in such a way. So, and Fatima also, she said, you know what, if this is how you're going to behave, then let me tell you openly that Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Seeing the conviction that his sister had, Umar said, show me what is it that you were reading. Show me what is it that you were reading. So Fatima said that you are unclean, and only the pure and clean can touch it. So go and wash yourself first. So he went and he bathed immediately, and then he came and he read the pages, and in the beginning it said Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and Umar radiallahu anhu, he remarked on Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. He said these are pure names. These are pure names. And then he read Surah Taha, the beginning verses of Surah Taha, and then he said, where can I find Muhammad? Where can I find Muhammad? And at hearing this and hearing the softness in his voice, Khabbab ibn al-Arat, the companion, then jumped out and he said, oh Umar, have glad tidings. I prayed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would bless you. And Thursday night I heard the Prophet ﷺ praying to Allah, saying, O Allah, strengthen Islam by Umar ibn al-Khattab or Amr ibn al-Hisham, which was Abu Jahl, or also called Abu al-Hakam, but the name that was given to him by the Prophet was Abu Jahl. These two people were people of strong personalities, and the Prophet ﷺ had identified them that these are important assets if they can become Muslim. So the Prophet ﷺ was specifically making dua. He said, Ya Allah, help Islam by one of these two people. And actually the Prophet said, whichever one of them is more beloved to you. And subhanAllah, it was Umar ibn al-Khattab that was more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Umar then went to Dar al-Arqam when they told him that that's where the Prophet is. He went to Dar al-Arqam and he knocks the door, or he asked permission to come in. And the companions looked from inside The companions looked from inside and they got scared. They said, Umar is fully armed and he's here. So what are we going to do? So Hamza said, what's the matter? What's the matter? And they said, Umar is at the door. So he said, if he comes in peace, then let him come. And if he doesn't come in peace, then we will use his own sword and we are going to basically kill him with his own sword. The Prophet ﷺ was receiving revelation and he came back and he found Umar radiallahu anh sitting. The Prophet ﷺ caught him by his clothes and by the belt of his sword, and he said, O Umar, will you not turn away from your path until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down on you a punishment as he did on Walid bin Mughira? And then he made dua. He said, Oh Allah, this is Umar ibn al-Khattab. Oh Allah, bestow power and glory on Islam through Umar ibn al-Khattab. And Umar radiallahu anh responded, he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That was the time that the Sahaba claimed Allahu Akbar. And they were so happy that Umar ibn al-Khattab had become Muslim. Umar then wanted to go and tell the people that he has become Muslim, and he wanted to face the same consequences that the poor and the weak companions had faced. So he went to the house of Abu Jahl and told him. Abu Jahl didn't want anything to do with him. He went to a man by the name of Jamil ibn Muammar, and he told him that I have become Muslim. And Jamil was basically the BBC of Mecca, and as soon as he would hear it, he would just spread it all over. And he just ran in the streets and he said, Umar, Saba'a Umar, which means that Umar has left the religion, the correct religion. But Umar said to him, no, I have not become, this thing that you are saying, I have become Muslim. A mob attacked Umar ibn al-Khattab, but Umar fought him. And then another mob gathered and they decided to go and kill Umar. But then they were met by Al-As ibn Wa'il, who was someone who had close relations with the family of Umar. And he basically stopped that mob in the middle and he said that none of you are going to go this way because I'm standing in your way. And they understood and they went back. So Umar and Hamza, Umar radiallahu anh said, Ya Rasulullah, if we are on the truth, then why do we have to hide? Why do we have to pray secretly? So they basically agreed upon going to the Kaaba for the first time and praying publicly. So they made the Sahaba in two rows, whoever were there, and one row was led by Umar and one row was led by Hamza, surrounding the Prophet ﷺ. They went to the Kaaba and they prayed in public. And since then, Umar ibn al-Khattab was known as Al-Faruq, the one who distinguished the truth from falsehood. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب. So then, hello. अच्छा मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं अभी वीडियो अपनी रिकॉर्ड करके फिनिश करके आता हूँ. ओके मैं फिनिश कर रहा हूँ ना, मैं बस वीडियो फिनिश करके फिर आता हूँ. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.